Hello and welcome to yet another interesting podcast in continuation with the first podcast with Richa. We left at a very interesting note. One, she's going to cover especially the interview part during your application and the admission process. And second, one more thing I would like to know, is there any importance of marks also? 10th, 12th graduation. This I forgot to inquire in the first podcast. And second, something about alumni support and placement support. So over to you, Richa, for both things.
Thank you. We'll continue from where we stopped. So,
Sure.
interview process I was talking about, and
Yeah.
interview is like after you fill up your application form, you are like first round of screening is done based on your SOP, which I've already told. Then after your first round of screening, you're called for an interview. That interview is in person interview, and a panel of four to five professors are there. They call you in like one seminar hall, and the interview is around 40 to 45 minutes on an average. So what are things are covered in the interview process? If you see in for FMS brochure, if you see there, you will find that they talk about extempore, that is 1 minute extempore round, where they'll give you one random topic, and then you have to speak for 1 minute and they'll judge you on that. Then you have and this I'm talking about as per what is written in the brochure also. Then you have current affairs, whatever is happening around the world that you should know. Then your obviously your industry, that you should know, like I am from IT industry, so whatever is happening, some big things are happening in IT, so that also you should know. And then like okay, and then that's it. Then like general topic discussions and all those. So it if you read on the brochure, it looks like they ask everything below the sky. So and there is no fixed format that you should study, but to be honest, the interview process is very smooth. First thing that I did was I prepared. Like, I am not very good in my GK. Like, I have left it from since like long, and I don't have much interest into politics also, so I don't watch news regularly. But only for FMS I had prepared. So what all I prepared, I'll tell you first those, and then whatever they ask, like, and how it is relevant, all those things I'll discuss later. So first thing is what I prepared in current affairs. Like, during my time, this Silicon Valley bank collapse happened, then Ukraine Russia war happened. So you don't need to know everything, like each and every small details, but at least if they are asking for some like general news or something that is happening around the world, you should know that. They expect that much, that at least you have heard of some things. And even if you have not heard of that particular thing, you can politely say no, but at least you should study. So what all things I studied was like this. Then in my industry, I have studied like web 3.0, then generative AI, what is there in AI, what is happening. Then at that time, Elon Musk and Twitter was in news, so I studied what actually made it into news. Then this blue ticks were there, so what happened. Then the great recession, when did it happen. So, like, everything in and around IT industry you should know, is like what I felt like. And there was like I discussed it with my friends who did like full-time MBA from different colleges, like IIMs or some other state college. So what all interview process they had, I discussed it with them, and then I finalized and made note of all the points. So the important thing you have to do before preparing for the interview is you discuss and you check that what all things are happening around the world. First thing is around the world in India, and obviously you don't have to read each and every news. You just need to know that okay, this is happening, what is the reason, and that's it. Not very much into each and every topic, because there is no limit to it. Then at least you should. And what I did was, and that worked for me, I first noted down all the topics instead of reading it, and instead of watching videos, I noted down like 2 3 pages I took, and I noted down all the topics, grouping it like this is national importance, this is international importance, this is from IT industry, and then this is from like different industry altogether, or like role of SBI. It is just general thing that you should know. Role of role of RBI, or what is the difference between a dollar and a rupee, how is dollar appreciating and how is rupee depreciating. So all these, a bit of economics term, and to be honest, I am not at all from that background. I don't know even a single thing, but then I studied all those points, made a note of it, and then one by one I started reading all those things. So you'll, once you'll like make note of all the points, the most important thing that you will see is now you have the list of the topics that you have to read.
Sure.
So basis that you can, like YouTube also, you, if you don't want to read out for that particular point of time, at least you can watch some video. Like I actually watched Dhruv Rathi's almost all the videos.
Okay.
This Silicon Valley Bank also I watched his video. Then Russia Ukraine war also I watched a video. So it was like having dinner and like putting up that video on, and at least you register something
Sure.
instead. Like obviously after office it's hard to prepare for interviews, and then but if you get such material, at least it's like scrolling Instagram, and like if you don't, like for that matter, if you don't scroll Instagram and you scroll those videos, so that's when the importance of all those topics are there. So if like randomly if you try and read some things, maybe you'll lose a like sequence, and you'll not be in that situation that you how to read it.
Sure. I think
So
you have given a wonderful strategy to students, that you have divided the topics, you have collected it, you have divided it, and then you have utilized your time wonderfully. You were saying something else also. Please continue.
yes. So, like this way, you can prepare for the interview. Then, what happened on the day of interview? So, you were called in a panel of 4 to 5 professors, and for my panel, it was around 8 of them. Now,
Okay.
am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. Please continue.
Just a second. Okay. So then like I was called for an interview, and for that matter, now I know that it was a mix of all the professors, like
Okay.
economics professors also. Like at that time obviously you don't know which person will ask what. So like I was firstly scrutinized on my SOP. So
Okay.
they, what they do, they have a written hard copy of your SOP in front of them. They
Okay.
open that SOP and they start reading it. So the
Okay.
most important thing in your SOP that you should write is, first thing, you should be very clear with what you have written. Very,
Hmm.
very clear. Not even a single word you should write that is not like you are not able to speak on that.
Sure.
So everything you should be very clear. Like I wrote into my SOP one line, I would tell that I enjoyed managing a team of business analyst managers and uh, uh, business analysts, developers and testers. I wrote
Hmm.
this line. So they took out that enjoy word and they asked me that what is their enjoyment. Like you manage people but you don't enjoy managing people, so how can you justify this particular statement that you enjoy managing a lot of people? So to that I replied like very nicely also, and I replied ki, since I am a like outspoken person and I love talking to many people, so that's when I enjoy. So they said that then you are a bossy nature and you are not that much very like whatever work you have given to your teammate, you want them to complete that first. They asked me this question. To that I replied that it's not, and obviously your works demand to be bossy sometimes, but I am not the correct person who would answer that I am bossy or not. You can ask my team members, but what I feel is, to get something done, sometimes you have to be bossy, sometimes you have to be sweet. So whatever what is your like actual nature, you should show that instead of being in one particular like stigma altogether. So that's when like this kind of conversation happened, and then they asked some technical questions also, like they asked me one question of e-rupee, what is
Yeah.
e-rupee. I was
Okay.
not aware of that particular answer. So, like, but I did not stop like it. And the most important thing is, whatever they ask, at least whatever relevant, if you don't know the answer, you say no. But if you know anything related to that, or maybe you can speak one or two words accordingly, you should
Hmm.
try.
Okay.
So what I did, I talked about cryptocurrency. Maybe I at that point of time I thought it is something related, but it is not at all related to cryptocurrency. But at that time I thought it is related to cryptocurrency, and then I gave that particular word. So they asked few questions about blockchain, cryptocurrency, and that I was aware of. So
Okay.
I pulled that question off in a different direction, but I answered few things. So the why I'm telling you all this story is, it is not important to answer all the questions, but it is very important to at least acknowledge, and whatever you know, you have to put it in a way that they understand that okay, you don't know this particular answer, but you are ready to learn about it, and you are trying your hard to get into that answer.
Okay.
Then my extempore topic was cloud computing. And to be honest, like, I am from an IT background and I know what is cloud computing, obviously, but I have not prepared for it. But
Okay.
then whatever I knew, I have given that in 1 minute. And to be honest, you should be precise, and you should be like, they will not ask you to stop, but you should be that much like vigilant and stop it in 1 minute.
Okay.
Stop it in
Okay.
1 minute, and then basis that they like ask you other questions. So it was more of a conversational question, to which I would rate it as, out of 10 questions I was not able to answer 4 or 5 questions.
Oh,
And
okay.
and actually when I came out of the like hall, I was not very sure that my interview went well, to be honest. And
Okay.
I asked my, like, we were 6 to 7 people who were interviewing for that same panel. So I asked everybody like how your interview went, and everybody's response was same. So I was like, okay, let's see what happens. But then I think like, talking about what you know and not keeping a mum, like that landed me to an, because technically I was not correct at a lot of points, and I knew that I don't know this. Like one professor asked me, she is economics professor now. So she asked me about direct and indirect taxes, which organization. So she asked, what she asked actually was, which organization is responsible for indirect tax. I was not knowing this answer, to be honest, and I was not knowing anything about tax. But
Hmm.
I knew what is direct tax and what is indirect tax and how it is calculated. At least I knew that. So I told ki, ma'am, I'm not sure on this, but what I have learned is this is direct tax and this is indirect tax. Maybe I'll check on this and I'll let you know.
Okay. Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
this is what, like, how I approached to those questions where I did not know answers.
Sure. So I would like to reflect back for all my followers here how you should prepare. Richa has shared a wonderful strategy. Whenever you are applying for any MBA program, whether full time, whether part time, executive, online, you should be very thorough with actually what you are doing specifically related to the industry and the function. Second, you should know national and international level what is happening at least 6 months or 1 year down the line. And she has shared wonderfully that it is important if you note down all the points. Now, I would also like to brief it out here that whenever you are appearing in any panel, in any admission process interview panel, you have one faculty from each department because the admissions are generally general MBA. Till the time you are applying for any specific degree program like 1 year, 2 year HR, MBA or finance MBA. Otherwise, if you are applying for executive MBA program or general MBA program from any institution, you will have at least one faculty from each and every specialization. And if not from, let's say, supply chain or something very specific, but you will have a faculty from finance, you will have a faculty from IT, from marketing, from HR, because these are four core specializations from which other specializations have taken on the roots. So whenever you are applying for that, these are the basic requirement for you to apply and to implement in any interview process. And I'm so thrilled to know your interview journey, Richa, that you attempted to at least answer all the questions. So you have to actually look into your conscious and subconscious mind. You have to check for answers. Whatever knowledge is lying out there, whatever thing you know about that particular topic, it is very important for you to at least share what you know. This is going to showcase your interest and your curiosity in learning more, and that you are very much interested in responding the answer of the interviewer. So that is very,
Correct.
very important. Richa, you have explained it so wonderfully. So finally, you got through your admission process after your interview. And, I'm so happy that you have shared it so honestly. Anything else you would like to tell our students to really crack the interview process?
So the main important thing that like professors also try, see, the most important thing that you should know is your batch consists of everybody, everybody as in all the professionals, all or from different backgrounds. So they are not at all biased. Like I had, like most of many people told me that the professors are biased to certain professions, or they would seek only some people of that profession, but they are not at all.
Okay.
This you should be very clear that the process is very transparent. And obviously there are times when the professors ask some questions just to check how you respond to them. And obviously if they, let's say they asked me that I am bossy or something like that, which is a bit of some not that regular question that you have. And if they question your competency and how you do your work, you should answer that very politely and
Politely.
ask them some like similar questions, so that that question, that particular scenario moves you a different direction altogether.
Okay. Okay.
So that is very important, because there are professors who want to test your patience as well. And obviously, this course is all about your patience, your perseverance, and your hard work. So
Sure.
that only they check into that interview. It's okay that you don't know five answers, it's okay that you don't know all the 10 answers, but how you are approaching to those answers. And the thing that I have told before also, that you start preparing. So what happened to me was, like, I prepared for this like general knowledge things, and I studied about direct indirect taxes, I studied about RBI. So even if I was not knowing that answer correctly, in my subconscious I knew that okay, this is related to something like that, and that came because I studied about it.
Okay.
So you have to do your homework before you go to an interview, and it is obviously 50%, like 70% I would say your effort, and 30% obviously it is a luck.
Sure. So I would definitely would like to support what Richa is sharing here. Being an interview expert, I would like to tell all of you that the tone you use while answering and the choice of word along with your facial expressions, your body language plays one of the most important role in clearing interview, not just for any MBA program, but even while you are applying for any corporate interview also. Because you have to be in a very receiving form, and how you are answering the question and how you are responding with your verbal and non-verbal communication is going to make you a successful candidate, whether you're applying for an admission process or you are applying for a company job. I'm sure when you will grow up further and further into your career, Richa, you will be interviewing a lot of people, and I'm sure you are going to implement all these things into your interview process as well. So you were also talking about, in your last podcast, you were also talking about, since you are from professional world, so you are being given time and support by your organization. So how come people who are working in the corporate and they would like to get still in association with alumni or the college placement cell in case in near future they want to shift the organization where they are working? So any experience or exposure regarding this area?
Correct. So, see, the most important thing is, like, I was very lucky that I received my senior management in Accenture is very good. And this I am not saying just to say, but before joining FMS also, I have received a lot of support from my senior management. So when I told my senior manager that I'm telling it like offline. I told him, it was not a very formal email communication. I told him ki, sir, I'm trying to apply, and if it is there, like I will be needing your support. And like my shift timing that time was 10 to 8 or 10 to 7, like until the work continues. It's basically that in IT. So but I have to shift my shift timing as well. And like since the day I joined FMS, I have to shift my timing from 8 a.m. in the morning till 5 a.m. in the evening, 5 p.m. in the evening. So this is where my management supported me. They gave me that kind of project where late evening calls were not that much involved.
Okay.
Obviously, there were times when after returning from college, I used to work and I used to attend few calls that were very important after 9:30 in the night. But then obviously it is not always you have to do. It is something that you get from your management also. And to be honest, I received full support. But then you should also be very clear that you would work during that particular hour and you would complete everything that is required. Because in IT, if you see, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the most crucial time for all the calls,
Okay.
as in if you have like client from US, UK, or anywhere like
Any
outside
other
India,
time zone apart from
majorly
India
that.
time zone? Yeah.
Yes, so time zone clash is always there, and that's when your management support is needed. So what I did was I schedule all my calls from 4 to 5 in the evening, and then after 9. And like due to my management support, there were times that my manager used to take calls on behalf of me, and I get that those details early in the morning next day.
Okay.
So
Okay.
your organization support is needed, but then you should also be very honest to your organization in working during that particular period of 2 years.
Sure, sure. So, what about those people who still look forward for placement support from the organization, the FMS I'm talking about, the
Okay.
alumni support, or is there any way out that in case they want to change or they are looking forward to a change, are they being supported by the placement cell or the alumni network?
So as I've already told, there is no formal placement that is there from the organization. But since like FMS is a very old organization and it has a lot of alumni into it, so we have like alumni meets as well. I
Okay,
have attended only one as of now, because and that was for the fresher batch which we are in. But after like 2 years, I would be enrolled into that alumni batch. And there is
okay,
one portal, and that is an internal portal which like it is not open for everybody, where job postings are there and referrals. Majorly it works on a referral basis. So if you feel if you find that this particular person is working as a senior manager in this particular organization, and you want to apply for that organization, you can directly reach to that person and ask for referring your resume to that organization. So it works in that way. And there is full support from the seniors. Also on a personal ground, like I have a few connects with my just senior batch, and we meet regularly when they were into college, like they just passed out.
okay,
So that connect, if you have, that helps you to grow. What I have seen from my senior batch, like they I would give you one statistics that I received, that around 70% of the people like switched their job after FMS.
okay,
And when they were willing to do, 70% of the people, out of which 30% people were there who changed their domain as well. As in, if I'm into IT and I want to go into finance and I've done my majors or minors in finance, I
hmm,
have switched as a finance of into finance back like jobs.
okay,
So
okay,
30% are those out of those 70% people. Like FMS, from the name itself, it's a very big brand. There are differences which I have heard, and obviously I don't know as of now, since I am into that particular process. But then what I have heard from my seniors is, if you go on an interview and they ask you from where you have done your MBA, FMS holds a value to them. So
true,
if you
no
tell
doubt
that
about it.
you have done MBA from FMS, they understand that how rigorous that course is, how are the faculties teaching, what is the personality growth that you get from FMS. So
True.
that obviously impacts, and that is also like one of the major reason why I have chosen MBA from FMS.
Needless to say, FMS is always in the list of top 10 management institution in India. And I personally, being from education industry from past 23 years now, I have seen so many senior leadership people in all various domains and major companies. They are primarily definitely from FMS. And yes, I would like to agree with you that internal portals, especially internal alumni portals, do help a lot, because there are many positions which are posted on such groups, and they do prefer people, students and alumni from FMS. So if they have an internal portal which you are saying is so much into operations and so much into use and utility, I think this is one of the best facility you can get from FMS. One more thing I'm also curious to know, Richa, I'm sure there must be good journals and international journals, library facility available, the online
Yes,
facility.
yes, yes.
Okay,
So
that is there.
library facility, not online, I would say. Like
Okay,
obviously, if you say like Harvard Business Review, like we get case studies from HBR itself, Harvard Business
okay,
Review. So all the case studies which we study in, like and it is of, like I have not discussed it till now. It's majorly case study basis course. So for all your subjects, I would say there is 50% or less than 50% of the actual curriculum, and 50% or more than that is your case study. So HBR review we get like all the case studies are from there. Then library is also there, so you get books or journals, you whichever you want to, you can get it issued from the library. Like,
okay,
and we have notes also that is provided from the faculties which we have to study. Then we have multiple books, like PDF of those books are readily available, and faculties share it with us so that we can study and we can get our exams clear. So all those supports are provided like from the faculty itself.
sure,
You
sure. So
don't
that's
have to search here and there. Yes.
okay. And how much this program is applicable, because this is a Delhi University program, approved program, the degree is being given. So from my understanding, I'm aware that yes, people can apply for government jobs, people can apply for further PhD also. What is your viewpoint on that?
Yes, so like it's a general MBA. You don't consider it as a, see, there are difference between correspondence MBA, there is a difference between executive MBA, and there is a difference between a part-time MBA. This is an executive MBA, which is almost, I would say, 95% equivalent to your regular MBA, with a
True.
only difference that no formal placement is provided.
Okay.
But
And the
then
classes
you
are
have
in
an
evening
alumni.
instead of morning
Yes,
classes. Okay.
morning, and it is for working professionals itself. So whatever opportunities you have after a masters, be it MBA, be it MTech, or be it any other master's degree, you have everything open after FMS executive MBA program as well. So you can apply for PSUs. Like in my batch there are many people from public sectors who are looking forward to go into private sectors, or looking forward to change into a different domain. So
Okay.
they are studying like with us, and maybe in future they would switch into a different domain. So all those opportunities are open, and all those like you can opt and go for as per your requirement.
Okay, okay. And definitely needless to say, because this is a very common question, 100% you are allowed to pursue PhD from any prestigious institution. There
Correct,
is no
correct,
need
correct.
to worry about your government jobs and applying for PhD and any other research program across the globe. This is what I can also vouch for. The best part is that in the month of June, we are doing this particular podcast, and the upcoming admissions will start from December. The process will start from December. So roughly you have 6 months time to prepare the strategy given by Richa to us, and keeping all those points, especially interview points, in your mind. Prepare your statement of purpose, be very, very clear, prepare your documents. And, while we are near closure of this second podcast, I would like to share that I have requested Richa to complete another podcast on how you can pursue your business analyst profile if you're working in a corporate, what all is expected out of you, how you can prepare yourself technically, academic wise, and how you can prepare on the level of certifications, especially for people who are not from commerce background or who has not done MBA, and people who are from commerce background who have done MBA, what they are supposed to do. Rich, I'm so very thankful for doing these two podcasts with us, sharing the FMS process as if everything is going in front of our eyes. I shall be sharing the link of FMS brochure in the description box below. And since we will be doing one more podcast with Richa on the business analyst role, I would request all of you that in case you have any query related to any aspect related to FMS process, please do mention in the comment section below, so that in the next podcast we come across with Richa again, we inquire about that particular doubt or query. And I would request Richa also that in case you see or you're going through the channel, you're going through your own video, the comment, if you feel like answering any query directly, I really love when my followers speak to the speakers directly on the comment section, or otherwise you can connect with her on LinkedIn. She's also very active on LinkedIn. I have recently seen a lot of her post all the time. She's very lively on that channel. But Richa, I must say that every week we invite so many people to contribute to our podcast. You have been explicit in sharing your answers, sharing your experience with great honesty and integrity. So, my personal thanks to you and our best wishes to you for a great career, professional and personal life ahead for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we are looking forward to your third podcast now in time to come.
Sure, sure.
Thank you. All the best. Thank you. Bye bye.